Welcome back to Tesla Red, and we're on our way back now from Brisbane towards Canberra, where current fuel economy, or energy economy I should say, just over 100 watt hours per kilometre, which is about average what you expect around the city. You get a lot better economy around the city in stop-start traffic using the one-pedal driving than you do on the freeway, as long as you're not flooring at every set of lights, which I tend not to do unless there's a V8 next to me that wants to get embarrassed. It's definitely get better economy otherwise. We've got the same charging stops as we had on the way up, so I probably won't do much video on the way back. I'll just do the highlights in the economy and prices of supercharging. Anytime we take supercharging, we'll add all that up as well. But if you want to see a more complete road trip video for Canberra to Brisbane, then watch the first part of this series. That will be the better one for giving a more complete overview of the Tesla road trip experience. Anyhow, we're on the way to Harwood. We'll be there in almost 3 hours, so I'll check back in then. So we just pulled into Harwood Superchargers, just getting a quick charge here. It's been 3 hours on the road. We're planning to get lunch here, but they're not ready to serve yet, so we might go down the road to Coffs Harbour. Could have gone directly there, but with 3 hours anyway, we needed bathroom breaks, that kind of stuff, so we're just going to go straight to Coffs now, grab some lunch. So the stats for those interested, we did 122 watt hours per kilometre for that 3 hour journey. So as I explained earlier, the road tripping on the highway is a little less efficient than around the town, which is the opposite to a petrol vehicle in general. The faster you go in the EV, the more energy you'll burn. So yeah, we came in better than expected as far as energy consumption, 4.3 less than it had estimated, so that's great. So we just had a quick top up here while we went to the bathroom, now on 72%, and we're going to head to Coffs Harbour Supercharger to grab some lunch there. Okay, so now we're at Coffs Harbour Superchargers. That's right at the shopping centre, so we're going to go get some lunch here. It's only needing 5 minutes charge to get to the next charger. It won't be Harwood. I just need to reset that because I was doing some playing around, looking at going to go to the Big Banana, check those out, but they were a bit busy. But so we'll grab a charge here, grab some lunch. We've also just clicked over 10,000 kilometres, so expect a 10,000 kilometre review coming up at some point. Anyhow, we'll catch you back soon. So just grabbing some quick Korean barbecue while we were charging right next to the chargers. Okay, just finished lunch at the Korean barbecue at Coffs Harbour. It was a nice meal. Got us to 96%. And we've got our next stop at Thrumster. That charging session cost $20.16. The one previous was $11.05. As before, I'll add them all up at the end of the trip and do a total for both legs of the trip as well. Anyhow, we're going to head to Thrumster now, and we'll catch you then. So a quick reroute. It was only wanting us to do a 5-minute charge at Thrumster, and I really didn't see the point. So I've just rerouted it to Raymond Terrace Supercharger. That's going to be a 3.5 hour leg, so a little bit longer leg, but it'll save a charging stop. So yeah, we'll just go ahead with that. Got plenty of charge to make it. It'll let us know if anything changes, but that's our plan now. Okay, so we've made yet another captain's call and did another diversion. Decided it was just too long to drive to Raymond Terrace, and we're getting a bit tired, so we decided to do a quick charge at Thrumster. It's telling us we need 0 minutes to keep going because we got plenty of charge, but we're just going to stop here quickly, grab a coffee, use the bathrooms maybe, and then keep going to Raymond Terrace. But definitely proves you can do the Brisbane to Canberra in 3 stops, even in the rear-wheel drive shorter range. It just means you'd be doing a 4-hour stint from Brisbane to Coffs Harbour, and then a 3.5 hour from Coffs Harbour to Raymond Terrace, which is a bit much for safety, and even with autopilot, I think 2.5 to 3 hours is a good distance to do a stop. So Even though it's possible, it's not recommended in my opinion anyway. So like I said, we'll get a quick charge here, grab some coffee, and then we'll keep going. Do the stats quickly. We've just done 154 kilometres from Coffs to here, so it's a pretty short leg, 1 hour 40, average 126 watt hour per kilometre. So it'll hurt our overall efficiency making the extra stop, but it's more of a safety thing than anything else, which I'm happy to do. Anyhow, catch you soon. Alright, so all recharged, and more importantly we're recharged. Nice cup of coffee. Some good spots here at Thrumster near Port Macquarie. There's a pizzeria, looks like a good wood-fired pizza, a couple of cafes, like 3 cafes I think I saw, a little burger joint, so plenty of options. Looks like a good spot. That charging session was $11.34, and we've got about 2 hours now to drive to Raymond Terrace. Before I forget, I wanted to give a shout out to the lovely gentleman I ran into at the Harwood Supercharger, driving his brand new silver Model Y from Adelaide to the Gold Coast. He was apparently a viewer of the channel and had a good chat. Has a Model 3 as well as a Model Y. Loving the experience. It was good to catch up, and hopefully you see this video and keep enjoying your Tesla Model Y. Okay, so we just arrived at Raymond Terrace. It's saying only 5 minutes worth of charge time, so that's pretty good. This is our first time we're waiting for charging, and if it's going to be 5 minutes, then we've really saved time over what it would take in a nice vehicle. We've certainly on this trip prioritised comfort and safety. We were a little bit more tired when we left, I think, just being away from home and not sleeping in your own bed. The fatigue levels are a bit higher. So we decided to take that extra stop. As mentioned, we could have easily done it. Well, the car can easily do it in 3 stops, but that's not really safe. Doing 4 hour and 3.5 hour legs back to back on a 14-hour drive, I don't think is a great idea. Especially when you're a little bit tired when you start off. So got a few minutes and we'll be good to go again. Alright, so we'll finish here now. So it's a 5-minute quick charge, $8.84, gives us enough to get to our final stop at Campbeltown, where we'll grab some dinner. So this was our only time waiting for charging, was a 5-minute wait. Alright, so we just completed our final stop. I was a bit hungry and tired, so I wanted to get in there and get dinner first before we come in and do some recording. It was a 15-minute charge, but we stayed for about 30 minutes having dinner. So it's cost us $26.24, and that's our final stop for tonight for the trip. Heading straight home now. Overall, yeah, done a good trip. It was a little bit more tiring. We didn't start with as fresh as we did last one on the way up. It was only 5 minutes spent waiting for charging, so on the same kilometres, again, we would have spent at least 20 minutes on refueling, plus then finding food and that kind of stuff, so it definitely didn't take us any extra time. Definitely could be argued that we saved time. We did spend a bit more time on this trip taking breaks, mainly because, as I mentioned, we felt that we needed it to be safe, and that's the better way to drive, I believe. Anyhow, I'll come back probably tomorrow and do a wrap up, and we'll go from there. Okay, so there you go. As you saw, the Tesla EV beats the feeble human every time. I deliberately left the reroutes as we decided to make extra stops and that kind of thing, and debated just to show how easy it was to do that in the Tesla system. It's like literally 2 clicks and you can change which supercharger you're going to and make those decisions on the fly. Yeah, we wanted to avoid stops originally, but realised that with the bathroom breaks, levels of fatigue, that kind of stuff, it was better to make those extra stops. So as you saw, the car could easily have done that in 3 stops. However, it turned out we needed 5 for the trip back. Trip up was we were a lot fresher, and it was a lot less tiring. We took four stops for that one. Again, it could have done 3 as well, but I think that 2.5 to 3 hour between stops is a great way to go. And bear in mind also, this is the shortest range Tesla on the market. This is the rear-wheel drive. The long range is obviously very much capable for those who really think that 5-hour legs are safe and comfortable. You can do that in the long range if you really wanted to, and it also gets faster charging. But I think this trip, these sorts of trips up the east coast of Australia, definitely doable in the shorter range rear-wheel drive, and don't have any issue with that at all. Probably next time I may factor in an extra day just to be on the safe side, whether we evaluate on the way and just stop in somewhere for a night if we're feeling like that we need it. Definitely the trip up, it felt like a 3 or 4 hour drive by the time we got to Brisbane, so it was no issue at all. The trip back, just because of the busy time we had up in Brisbane and getting a little bit less sleep, really did drag on at the end there. But still nowhere near as tiring as it has been in ICE vehicles I've done it in previously. So the combination of the Tesla Autopilot, which is fantastic, does a really great job and performed exceptionally well on that whole drive. Along with, I think, the lack of noise and vibrations in the EV makes a big difference too. I think the constant noise and vibrations over 14 hours definitely wears on you, and I believe that contributes to the fatigue levels as well that you see in an ICE vehicle. As I mentioned in the first video, the last few times we did this trip in an ICE vehicle, we ended up staying overnight because we just really were wiped out the next day. But even on that trip back, which was a lot more tiring than the trip up, the next day I was still fine. I was able to go out and do things without any issue at all. One principle I always use is ABC, always be charging. If you're stopping for a bathroom break or coffee break, always do it at a supercharger. That way it's always helping make that trip more efficient. Unfortunately, you get much better facilities at the average supercharger. You can be plugged in while you go grab a coffee and use the bathrooms, which you can't do in an ICE vehicle at the petrol pumps. Well, at least going to the bathroom at the petrol pump, I think, is heavily frowned upon. So it just makes the whole EV road trip experience not only as efficient or more efficient in this case than the ICE equivalent, but it's much more enjoyable going to those sorts of places. I think Thrumster is a great location, plenty of options there. Also, Campbeltown was fantastic food there. And nice easy location to get to and get out of. Then Harwood is also one of my favourites for a good dinner at the pub there. So the only time we waited for charging on that return trip was at Raymond Terrace for 5 minutes. So in an ICE vehicle, you're stopping for at least, the industry says 8 to 15 is the average. I'd say 8 to 10 easily. So 20 minutes is a fair assessment. For the time taken to pull into a petrol station, find a Bowser that's available. Quite often on these trips, you're lining up and waiting for 1 or 2 vehicles ahead. Plugging in, holding the Bowser while it fills up, then going in and lining up to pay and messing around, then going and find a car park so you can then go to the bathroom and find some food and that kind of thing. I would say this trip was quicker in the EV than it would have been in the ICE vehicle, assuming we took all the same rest stops and coffee breaks, bathroom breaks, lunch and dinner. These people who say that it takes hours longer in an EV, again, we've got plenty of examples in this channel, if you haven't seen them already, of various trips where it's been either as efficient or even more efficient than in the ICE vehicle. And definitely a lot more comfortable than the ICE vehicle. As far as costs go, we had a total of $77.63 for supercharging on that return trip. Even though we charged a little extra on that last charge, we didn't need to, as we can charge cheaper at home. But that's the total spent on supercharging for that last leg or the trip back. And the equivalent in ICE would have been $175.16.
So it's pretty much bang on half in that case, and we had the significant savings the way up. So if we total up both the to Brisbane and return, we're looking at a total of $160.92 in supercharging, and we're looking at what it would cost in ice as $357.45. So even though supercharging is extremely expensive compared to charging at home, which is almost free, in my case and in a lot of people's cases, then you're still saving a significant amount over the ICE vehicle. And in a Tesla, you're in a much safer vehicle and a much more enjoyable trip by far. So yeah, look, that's my experience. Happy to have you share your comments, questions, or your own experiences. And other than that, please help us out by giving the video a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. Stay tuned. We have our regular Sunday night live streams. We'll have more road trips coming up. Otherwise, happy charging and safe driving.